And that's just that same picture again. That diagram right there has been a very good diagram as far as showing the makeup and the general makeup of it. All right, now the bulbourethral, like it's about the size of peas. Before I started teaching anatomy, I'd heard of these other glands, the prostate gland, the seminal vesicle. I mean, I've heard of those. Before I started teaching anatomy, I never really had even heard of this bulbourethral or Cowper's gland. But, you know, it's beneath the prostate on either side of the membranous urethra. That's the bulbourethral. And, I never really, all I have is secretes an alkaline mucus-like fluid, ducts into the spongy urethra. That's where the penis is. That's where these ducts open into. And, that contributes to the semen. And that's what these do. So that's I've never heard of anything about these other than that. All right, seminal fluid or semen, I mentioned this to you. All right, now, seminal fluid or the semen is composed of sperm cells plus the contributions from the bulbourethral, the prostate, and the seminal vesicle. All right, and so that would be the idea right in there on that. And I mentioned that now that is one of those pictures. That is a diagram out of the Seeley, Stevens, and Tate. And notice he just fills these things up with so much stuff. There's just so much stuff, and it's not, for the most part, not as good as the other one. But there's just so much stuff. I just put that up there. The spermatic cord has the vas deferens, the testicular artery, testicular vein, testicular nerve. Covering the spermatic cord, there's all this kind of stuff. There's the premaster muscle, all that business. There's the dargus muscle mentioned. There's everything is pretty well mentioned there. You kind of get an overall view, and I just kind of threw that one up there. Not that we will spend any time with all that garbage there. I mean, it's just so much stuff that you can't. Most of it we've mentioned, except for the penis, we haven't mentioned that part yet. But anyway, that just kind of gives you an idea of just all the stuff that Seeley, Stevens, and Tate, kind of their approach, just to kind of throw everything out there. So there's that. Now, right here, the volume of semen that is ejaculated is about from 2.5 to 6.0 milliliters. And now, I make a note right here. The number of spermatozoa is normally from 50 to 100 million per milliliter. And they generally say that a number below 20 million per milliliter indicates sterility. And I mentioned that to you a while ago. It takes that many of those things to release, so I understand, to release enough of the proteinases and the hyaluronidase to dissolve away the corona radiata and the zona pellucida. In other words, to penetrate them. They break, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about if there's so many millions of them produced, why does just one get there? And there's some built-in what we call blocks, like BLOCK, blocks to polyspermy. There's some built-in blocks to stop polyspermy, which we'll talk and how that works in nature to keep them all out except one. And every now and then, more than one gets in, and that would be, one gets in, and the egg divides. You talk about fraternal twins and maternal twins and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about the twinning idea a little bit later on. All right, but that's coming on down the line a little bit. But right here, many required because of hyaluronidase, they're necessary to dissolve the membranes of the ovum, like the zona pellucida, the corona radiata, and all that business. So many of them are required. Semen has an alkaline pH, and pH of about 7.35 to 7.50, and of course it activates the spermatozoa. The main thing that activates the spermatozoa is going to be these prostaglandins, hormone-like things, chemicals produced primarily by the prostate gland. So that's going to be a key issue right in through there, key thing. All right, so there we have that part right here. Now, also, this right here, y'all, I mentioned it, but it really and truly, if you start talking about Neisseria gonorrhoeae or Treponema pallidum or something like that, then this antibiotic, seminal plasmin, really is virtually worthless, useless. But there contains an antibiotic, seminal plasmin, may counteract bacteria in the lower reproductive female. I mean, it may work to counteract certain bacteria, not these sexually transmitted organisms though, but certain maybe lactobacillus, that stuff, some of the bacteria in the female reproductive tract. You know, it may counteract, I put that right there, seminal plasma, but as far as being something that cure anything, it won't. All right, now, male external reproductive organs, let me mention this kind of go through this a little bit. Scrotum, we discussed in connection with the testes, we did do that. The penis functions to convey urine and, of course, the seminal fluid during sexual intercourse. All right, and that specialized to become erect for insertion. Now, the nervous system is very important in this. The erection process is due to the parasympathetic portion of the autonomic nervous system. Ejaculation is due to the sympathetic portion of the autonomic nervous system. Now, any nerve damage, lower back nerve damage, prostate surgery, lower back nerve damage, prostate surgery, where there's prostate cancer, can damage nerves. If nerves are damaged like that, a male will be impotent. They will be impotent. Okay, and so these where there's spinal cord problems and that sort of thing. So I just mentioned this right here about that particular structure and how that works. I mean, the nervous system plays a very important role in this, in the function of in the male. All right, now right here we mentioned here the body of the penis is composed of 3 columns of what's referred to as erectile tissue. It's surrounded by connective tissue. The corpus cavernosa would be the lateral, corpus spongiosum would be the ventral. That's where the urethra goes. It goes through that particular area, and so the distal end of the corpus spongiosum is the glans penis, and there's a skin that covers that at birth of the male baby called the prepuce. You may not be familiar with that term. Any of you heard that term, prepuce? You heard that term, the prepuce? And then what is the little operation type procedure called? To remove that circumcision. Okay, to remove that, and that's that's very common in male babies to do that. Okay, so there's that sort of idea right there. All right, now I do mention right here also that just shows the cross section. That is out of your book right there. This is out of the book by Tatora. Just kind of showing this, showing the arrangement of the tissue and so forth, and the urethra, and way back up there you see the prostate right there. There's the prostate gland. There's the membranous urethra. There's those little bulbourethral. There's called the bulb of the penis and so forth, crude part of the penis. And there's just kind of showing you the arrangement of the tissues in that particular structure. All right, so there is that right there, kind of giving you, and then the only other thing that I wanted to mention for you on this, I wanted to mention right here the parasympathetic reflex. Usually, something along these lines is due to the sympathetic reflex. Now, you're going to need to somehow mark this, because people will get this mixed up on the test. The parasympathetic reflex, in which the arteries dilate and fills the erectile tissue and so forth with blood, and also the veins compress so that venous blood is inhibited, and there's some enzymes involved with this also that make this work like that. And so, but do remember that is a parasympathetic reflex. Somehow people miss this. That is a parasympathetic reflex, whereas right here, everybody, the orgasm is a sympathetic reflex. And I think I have that down there, right here. I should have it. Oh, come on. Yeah. That is going to be a sympathetic reflex. The other part is a parasympathetic reflex. What is that? Part of the autonomic nervous system. So in any type of injury or surgery or anything like that will interfere with this male response. It will definitely interfere with it. Some other things that will interfere with the male response are blockage